Everybody, this is Brett with Paperstac. We're here with Tom from Elite Property Investments. We are doing a first of a kind. This is a investor showcase where we want to talk and highlight some of the investors who have assets on the platform and get to know their story, get to know a little bit more about their assets and what they originate or what they buy and what they sell on the platform. And today I have Tom, who's up in Detroit. So just hello, Tom. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having me. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be a first of the kind. So everyone else, bear with us. This is new for us. So I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right into it. We've talked a couple times on the phone, and so I always want to start with the investor story and learn exactly how you guys got into this, because you and Tom's story, or you and Justin's story, actually sounds really interesting, and you guys are the whole Detroit story of real estate's kind of fascinating to me, because I remember some of the conversations talking about where you could have bought an asset for very cheap back in the day. I don't know if that's still possible, but yeah, love to hear the story from the beginning.
Yeah, so I started in January, so I've only been around about 8 months. But Justin, back about 2015, 2014, when the market was a little bit lower after the 2008 to 2010, real estate market crash, was working in real estate. His uncle got him into it, and so he decided in 2017, he was like, there's great deals in Detroit. I'm gonna start doing my own thing, and he actually bought his first house. I want to say for $150, something crazy like that. Sold it for $1,500, and then just the wheels kept turning and turning. And now we got 6 LLCs that we operate. We got over 20 employees. We do rehabs. We manage properties. We own close to 30 in Detroit right now. We have about 15 listed on Paperstac. So it's definitely kind of snowballed and blown up. But yeah, he just started buying and selling by himself, which is
pretty crazy. Talk about the barrier to entry, though. $150. I mean,
yeah.
I could go get a nice, steak dinner. I could buy a house.
Yep, for sure.
Wow, that's so cool. So his uncle got him into it, and then you came on. Or, did you have a background in real estate, or just how did you?
Yeah, no, I accounting major, finance major. So I had that on the side, and he obviously has real estate background, so he needed some help on that end, and then I kind of have taken over that sort of stuff. So that's cool. That's what I do, but I have a little bit. I'm getting my real estate license right now, so we're working on that as well. So
nice to cover all bases. So be able to originate.
Yep.
And then sell the asset. Okay, nice. And then so I guess asking the question of why notes. I guess I can pretty much figure out in my head that you guys kind of hold the whole spectrum, right? Is that kind of how you guys originate and do the whole thing?
Yeah. So a lot of people, especially in the Detroit area, sometimes aren't going to have the best credit, or other sort of reasons for wanting to be put on a loan, can't go through a bank. We can get a little bit higher interest on a land note. So especially the ones we have on Paperstac right now, we sold all of them to the same buyer, who's actually an outside investor. They're based out of Miami, but they have close to 1,000 homes in the Detroit area, which is kind of crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, their goal, is to buy them, and then right now they're in the process. They have a big list, and they're rehabbing them themselves, and so they're just paying, the monthly payment as opposed to buying the whole thing up front, because then they can sell them maybe down the road, or put a tenant in, or once they've got them rehabbed, then they can pay off the balance, or figure it out from there. But they like buying them from us in land contracts, because they just put a deposit down, and we don't have to worry about running multiple screenings and that sort of stuff. So
that's interesting. Yeah, the land contracts seem to be a thing right now. There's a lot of people that are doing them, and we've noticed that with Paperstac, and that's why we're making some adjustments to be able to process them fully digitally. I mean, it was pretty smooth, I'm sure, for your transaction, but
yeah, absolutely. It ran pretty well, for sure.
Yeah, so that's the goal. So like now, it's Detroit pretty much bounced back. Is that
It's definitely a lot better. I mean, at one point, and like I said, Justin bought his first house for $150. I mean, you're not finding that anymore, but there's definitely some good deals. A lot of the neighborhoods are making big comebacks. A lot of people don't realize, especially if you're not, in the Detroit area, downtown Detroit's beautiful. A lot of people love being there. It's really come back a lot. I mean, some of the neighborhoods, some of the homes are still beat up, and the deals are still there, but it's definitely making a comeback, and the property value is going up, every day. So
I've seen some stuff. I have a good friend named Dave Vance, and he's from Detroit, and he's always talking about Detroit. And he's showing me some videos of some of the stuff they're doing in downtown, and kind of how there's like new breweries and all these cool.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah, it's
like
definitely upcoming.
Pretty happening. And I was like,
Yeah, and I don't know if you know anything. Dan Gilbert, you know, he's a big time investor. He owns the Cavaliers, and he started Quicken Loans and all that sort of stuff.
wow.
He's a Michigan guy. He's from the state. He lives 30 minutes outside of the city, so he's invested a lot of money and raised a lot of money to bring the city back. He's really big on it, so he's made a big difference for us as well.
That's cool. You're originally from Michigan?
Yeah, so my mom grew up here. I actually was born in Las Vegas, but I moved back here when I was in high school, so about 15 years.
That's a switch in weather.
Yeah, I miss it. Trust me.
Yeah, nice. And so I guess tell us a little bit about the assets you have on. So you know, we have a lot of buyers that come on, and sometimes people know what they want, exactly what they want. Sometimes people are looking for good deals, and the goal of this investor showcase is to kind of say, let's talk directly to the sellers, get their opinions, you know, and you know the asset better than anybody else. You know what the buyer would want to hear in terms of why this is a good deal. So just talk about some of the ones you have on there, so maybe some of the ones you've sold, so we can get a full picture of it.
Yeah. So I think probably I've got two that are good examples. We sold them in a package. Both of them we sold at $72,000. The buyer put down $15,000 for each. They're paying right about $500 a month. They're listed on Paperstac, so exact details are up there. And they're 8%, interest. So
That's good.
I think something that, you know, people don't really look at, you know, when they're trying to save is these assets, like the 8% return, you're not going to get almost anywhere else. You know, like if the stock market's really good, yeah, sure. But when it doesn't go up at like 8%, you know, so people don't really look into real estate. And so a lot of people, I think, that purchase things like this 8% return are, say like a retirement fund or Roth IRAs and, you know, stuff like that, because they want to give the best return. But individual investors can afford something like this. You know, we're asking for that package for only $31,000. Like a lot of people out there have, you know, a little bit put away. So if you can individually get 8% on, you know, 2 homes over 4 years, I mean, it's a big chunk of change that you're not going to be able to get if it's just sitting in your savings account. You know?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's good though that they put money down. So they have some skin in the game, and so it's not like, you know, and the 8%, which is actually there's a guy that's a friend of mine named Dan. He always does it around like 8.5%, because it's not crazy. You know, you're not, you know, it's not a crazy rate.
Well, yeah, and we're not setting expectations, you know, 14, 15 crazy rate, and it's not, oh yeah, you're only getting 4. It's a good return, and there's no, you know, ridiculous expectations. The other cool thing is, you know, if you purchase these, or like obviously right now we own them, they haven't ever missed a payment, the people who we sold.
That's awesome.
But if they did, and, you know, eventually, you know, it went into default, the loan went into default, you still own the home. And we're on site, and we own a property management company. So say, you know, it went into default, you decided you wanted to, you know, just hang on to it because it's still yours, you know.
Yeah.
You just collect those payments, and then we're here, we'll get it rehabbed and put a tenant in it, and then you're just collecting rent at that point.
That's cool. So you guys have the whole team. So like you guys.
Yeah, it's kind of a 360. That's the goal. You know, we like to find the homes, sell them, and then or rehab them, then sell them, and then put a tenant in it, and we'll manage it. And you just, you know, if you're wherever, California, we got investors from France, Miami, California, all over the place. We'll take care of the home for you, and you just collect your rent back.
That's awesome. That's where did I hear this? It's like a Robert Allen used to talk about something that's just the multiple streams of income idea. You know, not only are you the investor, but you're also using the property management. And you have all the different tentacles out there to where.
Yeah. We like to consider ourselves a one-stop shop. You don't have to find anyone else. You know, once you're in with us, that's all you need.
That's cool. And so I'm assuming these assets. My next question was going to be are these assets for a seasoned investor or a new investor? And I'm kind of hearing from you, these would be great for, like what you said, someone who has a self-directed IRA. You just have to set it and forget it. You guys are there. You guys got boots on the ground. You know, it has an LTV that's pretty good. You know, so that, you know, that and a decent rate. These would be more ideal for a newer buyer. This would be safe bets for them.
I think it's safe for anyone. You know, obviously when you have performing notes and we have we have a lot with them. And they've never missed a payment. So, you know, you can feel safe going into it. But I think, you know, what I was saying a minute ago, the cool thing is if it were to default, worst case scenario, we take it over for you, and you're still getting your money out of it. So, I mean, it's immediate. Oh man, the word's not coming to me, but it's immediate.
Recuperation of your money, or
kind of, yeah. It's like when you make an. I'm trying to think of the word. Oh man, immediately, you're getting something out of it. Essentially, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
No matter what, like worst case, you're getting your money back. I guess is.
I gotcha. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that sounds really neat. I had a question. So you guys are like, the interesting thing about y'all's place, you guys know Detroit. So like you guys instead of, you're not buying all over the nation, you're very focused on a geographic location. You know what's good, know where to buy. You know the neighborhoods, right? These are what we've bought. This is why we've originated over here. You guys might be able to see trends that other people don't see outside the city.
Yeah, especially having, being on location and on site. And that's why we have, some investors that don't even ever come here. They say, hey, here's this amount of money we want to put into homes, find them, take care of them. That's it. They haven't even ever seen them,
That's nice.
Yeah.
So I guess some of the last couple questions I have, where do you see the industry heading? Like, we're always, because we're in the note business, right? So we're always looking at, the yield curve now that's kind of going funky, and like this is starting to look like something of 2007, but the economy's strong, and it's like, in terms of the real estate market, I just always like to get opinions because there's so many different, everyone's got one, and so like, I just like to learn somebody who's in the space, like what do you think, or what are you listening to?
Well, I think especially in this area where you've got such a range of different type of investors, I think it's always going to be growing, especially in Detroit. And at the end of the day, real estate, some people always have to have somewhere to live, right? I mean,
very much so.
So I that's my opinion on it. Especially, I think a lot of money has been put into Detroit. I think it's on its way back, and it already is. A lot of progress has been made. So I think it's going to grow. I think that's why we're interested in doing it, and that's why we've been doing it, because it's growing, and I think it's going to continue to grow for sure.
That's cool. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why, like I said before, I have a friend from Detroit. He's hardcore Detroit. He's down here.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I think most people that are from Michigan are hardcore.
A lot of pride. A lot of
pride. And so yeah, he's always just talking about Detroit, and then just talking about some of the stuff around the city and all the houses and the history, and some of these, I guess, houses built back in the 20s and 30s. Just the detail to of the architecture is just gorgeous, and so
it's pretty cool. A lot of people don't realize, they hear Detroit gets a bad rap, but there's a lot of really nice things here for sure.
That's cool, man. And then that's cool. I'm going to just jump over to show the assets we're talking about. Let me just go over here. All right. So for investors looking at stuff on Paperstac, this is the assets. You can find them. They are done at a pool. And
I also have them listed individually. If if you want to just buy one at a time, or 30 is a lot, and 15 makes sense, then.
Okay. So yeah. So let's see if we could just go to on the platforms. We got one listed as low as 8,000, and so steady Eddie interest rate of 8%. Nice. And then 47. That's a pool of 5. Wow. Okay. So
and the reason I pooled those ones is we sold it to that company as a pool as well, in the same the same 5 assets.
So is this
all 5 are getting 8%.
Wow.
Individually. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's cool. And this is the one we were just talking about. This is for 31.
Yep.
And then this is where you break it up down here on singles, huh? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you guys see now this is something interesting. Like we find a lot of buyers, once they find a seller's way that they set things up, they tend to buy things more in pools, because they're like, okay, you guys got a system. This is what you are buying them with a goal, and you know what you're doing. You set up at 8%, and it's you create these things over and over again, which is nice. And you guys got how many? 15 on here?
I think we sold 4 of those earlier last month, but we had 15, so I think we're down to 11 now.
Okay.
But we're in the process of adding probably 6 more in the next 2-3 weeks. So
nice. Yeah, this is cool. And I think let's see here. Let me go back. The last question I had was where did it go? Okay. Okay, so this is just, this is my own personal question, but I'm just, figured I'd throw it in there. What, if there's anything, one feature you'd like to see on the Paperstac platform? If there's not, whatever, we're an agile team. We're always developing.
Yeah. And that's,
cool. It's
that's
open.
That's kind of how we want to operate too. We're always trying to make things easier and simpler. So anyway, the one thought I had is instead of mailing out, the collateral package, if we could send it via email. I mean, that took probably 3 days extra. I think that would just speed things up a little bit. But
email, like, so in terms of maybe having like a like if they were already had a collateral review, or being able to just skip the audit altogether.
Yeah, or I mean, just like all of our collateral is online paper.
Yeah.
We just printed it out and put it in an envelope and sent it. So I think like if we could email it to the auditor, that would speed things up.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Cool. And I'm gonna put that down. And every Thursday we go over things, and so I'll be, which is today. We missed our meeting we've been busy this morning, but
yeah,
we'll probably do it tomorrow. We'll probably try to do it tomorrow, but sorry. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. What we're gonna do is gonna put this out, and anybody, when you're watching this video, if you give us a thumbs up for the suggestions, if you've gone through a couple of transactions, we do take action. We do actually want to do what you guys want, and so I gotta say thank you so much, Tom, for coming on. This has been the first, hopefully many, and I hope everyone likes this. And if you want to have your chance of getting on and tell us about your assets, please reach out. Okay.
Yeah, this is great. Thanks for having me.
Cool. Thanks, Tom.